Ogunbowale. Using a fullback a lot. Ogunbowale averages 2.9 yards per carry. So even though that looked nice, this is something, okay, this is going to drive me insane today. The Texans on 3rd and 1 here get stuffed after converting a 3rd and 1, running almost the exact same play. And the problem is the first play really didn't make it. I think it was a horrible spot. It wasn't a really good run. Pep Hamilton runs the exact same run this time. You're going to see right behind the right guard and tackle. And watch the line of scrimmage. It goes from here to here. Gets right there, it's even worse. He gets stuffed. So that's twice that they've gone right there. And then what does Pep Hamilton do? He triples down by running the exact same spot with Jeff Driscoll, a guy who's a known non-QB sneak converter. You got these two guys up here doing nothing to push him like every other team in the league is doing right now. Pep Hamilton has inadequate tools, but he uses the inadequate tools inadequately. And Driscoll, look at how bad he is. I would say he's blind, but blind people tend to have heightened senses. And I feel like a blind person would sniff, hear, smell the opening to his right. Ugh. I swore I wasn't going to get disgusted at all of this. Christian Kirk. A lot of people thought that they overspent for Christian Kirk. I thought the Jaguars had to pay a tax to get free agents in last year, something the Texans will have to do again this year. It was a good signing by the Jaguars. Christian Harris in coverage, he's right on the brink. He's getting better. I like this. Lose games, Christian Harris, Jalen Petrie get better. And this is just bad run defense. The Texans would allow over 170 yards of rushing offense yet again. Can set your watch by it. The most poorly constructed, least physical watch ever. All right. What you got, Mills? You gonna go? Oh, yeah. Oh, Burkhead. He's a go-to. He's the go-to guy. You'll see more later, I think. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I love Jalen Petrie, and he's going to have a ton of tackles in this game. He's got so many tackles, but look at him right there. He's like laying at the feet like he's genuflecting to Almighty God when he tries to make these tackles. Part of it is, look, he's got to fly up out of nowhere and cover a whole lot of green grass. But him and some of these other young guys just got to learn how to settle down. Like right there, instead of lunging, you need to be settled down a little bit. It's a hard task right there. You're like the catcher in the rye. I didn't know what the symbolism of all that was. I wasn't paying attention. But he's standing there trying to keep everybody from falling off the edge of a cliff. He's doing very well in a lot of respects. Just that's what he's got to clean up. Or some of these try to, like he's an Australian blue heeler trying to herd cattle on these. 3rd and 12. Christian Harris here does a little bit of the same thing. He's just got to learn to settle down a little bit. But, I mean, as a defense, these guys did the right thing. They rallied to the ball. They don't convert. The Jaguars don't convert the 3rd down. Punt. This one, this is the one that was going to be reviewed. And they spent a lot of time on the broadcast. Well, not on the broadcast. I mean, the actual replay officials had to spend a lot of time, I think, talking to New York because you can't see it right here, but he has his feet on the line, but then he takes his heel off the line, which is kind of the reverse of when you're catching a ball and going out of bounds. If your toe is in bounds, but then your heel touches without your toe having lifted up, you're considered out of bounds. Here, I think they just kind of reversed the whole scenario, and because he took his heel off, then that means he had reestablished himself in bounds. I don't think that the rule book perhaps was all that clear on exactly how to handle that situation because they took a long time to figure that out. Guy, hey, plenty of time. What you got, Mills? You're throwing it to the strength and conditioning coach for the Jaguars. It was that kind of day for Mills. It's about 50%. Oh, all right, guys. All right, guys. I mean, it's basics. It's basics. Jalen Petrie has a ton of tackles, but he could have even more. Right here, you got Des King and Jalen Petrie. Petrie had gotten Petrie had gotten sucked up, perhaps expecting any one of these four dudes to possibly play with the right leverage. I'm inclined to give Petrie more and more of a break, but right there also, tackle the legs. He's got, he was very productive in this game as they let up 170 yards rushing. Boy, ETN looking exactly like the guy, the poor maligned. Yeah, boy, a lot of overcommitment there. Des King was not his typical physical self today. Mills said after the game that he would continue to focus on taking care of the ball. He's turned the ball over for multiple consecutive weeks now. And it's not just, the problem is interceptions are interceptions. And there's a little bit of YOLO to his game yesterday. YOLO Mills, he doesn't have the natural athleticism and skill to be YOLO Mills. He's reckless. That is riding a pony. That is, it's like John Travolta and what's her name, Urban Cowboy back in the day. Filmed down in Pasadena for the youngsters. Ugh. And Mills, he's sloppy. Like they probably won't show any of these today, but he's reaching out with the ball when he doesn't need to reach out for the ball. It's not even towards the end zone or anything. That's lewd behavior right there in Harris County, son. You're lucky you weren't arrested, picked up on charges for that. There have been NFL players arrested at the stadium, like after the Super Bowl. Here we go. Oh, you're going to see. Look at him. Why? Why, Davis Mills? You're not that guy. Don't be that guy. There's Des King. You really couldn't understand the majesty of them being down 21-0 and the entire team going down to celebrate in the end zone. O.J. Howard, I remember him. I remember him from the tie versus the Colts. The tie that's really screwing the Texans over right now. Okay, adequate throw. I was trying to figure out what Ibungawale was doing here. If he was trying to like detach himself from any responsibility here. Watch him. So Mills is. Watch Ibungawale. He's either ducking to avoid getting hit by an errant football, or he's going to tie his shoes. Maybe he got hit in the chones. Oh! Yeah, you got to throw a fade. You got to throw a fade. Not only do you have to throw a fade, something that the rest of football has realized is like the worst, most inefficient throw you can make on the goal line. But you got to throw a fade to 5'4" Rex Burkhead. And then, most importantly, throw it out of bounds. That's nice. Hey, this is one thing that the Texans have gotten better at making some of the big stops, the TFLs, those things. They are bend. They're on their way to being bend, don't break. Usually a lot of bend, don't break defenses are actually bend, break, and that's what the Texans have been. And they're still letting up yardage in huge chunks, but they have had more instances of actually getting stops eventually. Like, again with the ball, like he's DeAndre Hopkins or something. I knew DeAndre Hopkins. You, sir. You were no DeAndre Hopkins. Oh, you got to go to Burkhead. It's 3rd and long. It's 3rd and long. You got to go to Burkhead. Everybody knows that. It's like one of the core tenets of football in America. Trevor Lawrence is on his way to being a very good quarterback because a little bit like Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes, he pays attention to every detail, including in the run game. Not Ibungawale. Okoronkwo. Okoronkwo here up at the top. He was an outside linebacker in LA for the Rams, and kind of a disappointment there. He comes here and he's playing 4-3 defensive end, kind of like the transition that Jason Babin would eventually make, where Jason Babin was a draft pick by the Texans back in my day, and he was a disappointment as a first-round pick. He ended up going to be a 4-3 defensive end after being, kind of square peg in a round hole as an outside linebacker in Houston, and he really took off. That's what Okoronkwo is doing right now. He's on a 1-year deal, so I'll double check that. But nice spin move there. That was silky smooth. Roy Lopez, nice little celebration alongside his teammate. Teamwork. Run defense. I don't know if I've mentioned this to you guys, but the run defense has been an issue. Boom. Oh. Evan Ingram's been really good for the Jaguars. That was a 1-year deal. That was a good free agency signing by the Jaguars. He's been way more than people expected. I thought Yolo Trevor was a little... He's been very careful with the ball this year. He's got like some of the amongst the fewest turnover-worthy plays, according to Pro Football Focus. Yesterday, I thought he was actually a little bit reckless, but at the time, it's also 21-0, so who gives a damn? That's what he's been really good at, though, too, is like this looks like a humdrum, no big deal play. And it probably is, but he's done this on boots quite a bit, on some plays that are way more difficult than this, where teams will have the boot covered like on all 3 levels if you've got 3 options on a certain bootleg. And he makes a throw that a lot of guys are unwilling or unable to make back across his body, even when guys are covered. Like right here, I mean, it would have been easy to go to the tight end. And again, that one wasn't as impressive, but he's making that type of throw much more regularly. Holds the mesh point. Texans decide to... They didn't focus on the quarterback or the running back. That's rare on the triple option. If you don't cover any of the 3 options, tends to be frowned upon. Brevin Jordan with a roller coaster. Oh. But stick it out. Oh, he didn't. He held on to it that time. Good job. I messed up my camera on that one. Okay. Pump fake. Oh, go. All right, go. Send him down. You can't throw it. Okay, stay in bounds. Boom. Look, people were complaining about that not being a flag. Watch this. Watch what he does. Oh, they don't show it. All right, well, we have to go back. I don't understand what the man is thinking, YOLO Mills. Here we go. All right, so honestly, the pump fake or pretending like you're going to throw even after you're 5 yards past the line of scrimmage, I actually enjoy that because I think it does work sometimes. Josh Allen does that a lot. So I think he's sending Akins down to block for him, but also looking a little bit like a passer. And, okay, so on the broadcast they were saying he was trying to stay in bounds to keep the clock running. I don't know what James Lofton was talking about. Maybe I misheard him. But and then I thought that Mills might have stumbled. But I think he wanted it to be over. Was he sacrificing himself for the cause right here? Look at this. Bow! My God, son. That's not preserving yourself. Bryce Young will not be allowed to do such shenanigans. Kaimi Fairbairn has been very, very good this year in a lost and unappreciated season. Got a little CJ Beathard action. I got to be honest with you guys. This is when I started really checking in heavily on other games. 4 missed tackles there. I'd almost call the eventual tackle a missed tackle, too. If a guy makes a tackle but gets dragged for 4 or 5 yards, I feel like that's as good as a missed tackle. You're only credited a half tackle on that. Jerry Hughes, frustrated again today. I've liked Jerry Hughes actually giving a damn in a year where he's 1 sack away from his career high in sacks. Another kind of underappreciated effort. Jalen Petrie, he's getting very good at this. I don't mean to harp on the negatives here with Jalen Petrie. It's just something he's got to clean up as a safety. But he's getting very, very good eyes in the backfield and an ability to anticipate. I mean, when you got a chance to throw to your fullback and or Rex Burkhead, you're an idiot if you don't take it. This is a long drive. It was 3rd and 8. So you run a designed play to Rex Burkhead. Because it's been so successful. Again, just like the QB sneak, like why does Pep Hamilton is convinced of two things that he needs to stop being convinced of. Well, there's still time in this season. There are still several days left. Rex Burkhead and Jeff Driscoll are not the athletes that you think they are. It's 3rd and 8. You run. This is a designed play. This isn't a dump off. This is a designed play to Rex Burkhead. Why do you do this to me? Yeah, why not? Sure. I gotta hand it to the Jaguars. They had some very nice celebrations. Good pass rush. Good swallowing up of. This is extreme garbage time here, and I gotta be. I'll say I was anticipating once Trevor Lawrence went out of the game that the Texans would do their classic, hey, claw back to within 10 points, and Lovie Smith somehow painting it out like they won the second half, even though they were facing C.J. Beathard. But the Texans couldn't even do that. They couldn't even do me the favor of insulting my intelligence by claiming that the second half production was worth a damn, like they did after the Miami game. They couldn't even insult me properly. They just insulted us by playing this version of football, which I know we shouldn't be too upset with because we knew this was coming, except that there's something about the malfeasance of coaching in this game that really bothers me. The continued reliance on guys who are known non-performers. When you do have younger guys, that at the very least, if they don't perform, you're finding out something about them. I already know every damn thing I need to know about Jeff Driscoll, about Rex Burkhead. And good job to those two guys, Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson.